DHT. There I was, sitting down looking at this old well, when all of a sudden I hear a call. It sounds like little Timmy down there in the well. Why, yes it is, Timmy. How have you gotten yourself down there? Well, not telling you right now. Get me out of this well. I don't know. What will you do for me? We are on hard times right now. Many chores to be done and all. One day by day, the one can call the bearded one. Yes, I know of him now. What do you want? I want a month's worth of chores done, no questions asked, while I sit in the shade and eat apples and watch from afar and see how things are getting along for a month. For a month, you say? Yes, that's right there, Timmy. A whole month of chores now. Okay, you've got a deal. Okay, now I pull him up with some rope and an old mule. He gets to the top and he has this menacing grin on his face, and I say to him, "Hey there, Timmy, how do you feel now that you're on solid ground?" "Now, very good." And then he starts kissing the ground 10 times or more. All right there, I get it. You're glad to be out of that well. Now, like I said, for our chores, now, you have to get up at the crack of dawn to feed the cows and milk them, and the chickens as well, and plow a field or two, and then plant some food. That's just for the first week alone. Now, as he starts taking all this in, he hatched up a plan of his own, you see, as he would begin the first week to feed the animals little by little each day, as the animals had started to produce less and less the usual. They were starting to think it was some sort of new mechanical air they had installed for as the emergency feeders, as it was winter time and it was getting very cold, like -3 to 5. We had 1 or 2 livestock freeze, but we saved them for later. As the weeks went on, the animals got more louder and more vocal about not getting fed the full amount, so it was a week time as he was supposed to come back to work. He had been off at another part of town at that time and did not bother to come and check on our deal or anything like that. So he shows up one day and he says he'll be taking all over again, right? Right when he gets back, he finds most of the animals have not been fed. Half of them are bloated from not being milked in a few weeks. But as he's about to milk one, he touched it and it just fell over and died. That son of a Mennonite dynamite. I knew I should have never. That little Timmy out here in the well. I knew he was good for nothing, but something told me otherwise. And that boy, I do regret it now. But I do think I have a plan. Maybe to lure him back into the well. And maybe this time I'll put the lid over it and tell the people that it is contaminated with some parasites of sorts. And that's how little Timmy is down there, bedridden. But really, I had no plan to place a sack of hay of sorts in his bed with some trimmings from the barber shops from the old Jebediah that he was going to use for some soil in the farm till and the land, but luckily I had scooped some up. Now, while they were out there thinking that he's out in the old barn trying to get better, which I had put one of his old friends on guard, I paid him off so that no one would come in there and tend to him in the night. But then by the next night, I had to make a run for it. Later on that night, little Timmy wakes up. He's been asleep for a while. He's tired from all the chores that he's done. Really, what's going on, but something seems off. He's also angry. He starts thinking about the different chores he had done to do, the fact that he didn't get paid for it. He's thinking, who does Russell think he is? Am I his master or something? No. I don't think I can let him get away with that, what he's done to me. Then Timmy comes up with the plan, well, thinking all of this stuff to get a little hungry after the meal he eats. He's a good cook. He cooks his own meal. They smell it from afar, and they ask to sample it, and he says, I don't know, I'm in here, and you're out there, so there's not fun for me, or you come in here and try something, and have a little plate yourself, and tell me how it is. Then he takes his plate and says, smells good. I think it's a good idea for Jack over there, who's watching you, to take a few bites himself. Eggs him on the other to try it. Timmy looks a little sweaty but says nothing. Anyways, Jack calls the bearded one in to try also, but Timmy sees him walk up but almost says something but does not. Before anybody else could help themselves, Jack hungrily eats the rest of the food. Now there's no more left. Everyone groans and moans and looks angry at Jack because they had a hard day's work in the fields. They are all staring for the rest for a while, as they do normally. But within an hour, they notice that old Jack is on the ground sick. They also see that he's throwing up everywhere. My God, is he throwing up violently? What's wrong with him? Timmy, even more concerned now, his plan was to poison Russell, the man who had saved him from asking him to do all that work. Now Russell and the others were happy that he didn't eat that food themselves. Now they have been just like Jack. Shortly after vomiting event, Jack died. Everyone was wondering what happened to Jack, but old Russell knew exactly what happened. He went and saw his handy-dandy vial of poison that he had gone missing, that he had kept around to make sure that he had some to keep trouble at bay. Then he realized that Timmy had tried to poison him. So he walks on over to Timmy and tells him that he needs to come outside and he needs to talk with him alone. So then they walk over behind the barn where the well is located, and then he went over to the well to show him something strange in the reflection on the water. As he says, look over there in the well, and he says he saw the reflection, as in he saw a huge rock and then a thud, and then Timmy's body fell over into the well, and then Russell had taken the top of the well and capped it off, and then walked back into the party like nothing had happened at all. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe.